Hey, my name's Blake,
Hey, my name's Sam. We're from the band LSF.
and today we're going to be reacting to the new Gang of Youths album, Angel in Realtime.
I'm excited.
It's obviously a very, very well thought out production, hey?
Yeah.
You can hear just all them sort of world samples and the choir and the stereo sort of thing going on with that
Panning.
intro bell sound. Like,
So got that classic sort of Gang of Youths.
yeah. It's got the voice.
Yeah, the
man.
voice.
There's obviously like that full-on Gang of Youths thing where it's all about the rhythm
Yeah.
pumping through, and there's just so many different parts of rhythm going on.
It's
But
real
then Dave's just got the one.
yeah. It's real complex,
Yeah.
but not much big, like, driven, like, instrumentation. Heaps of, like, that world sort of
Yeah.
percussive big drums. Bonk, bonk.
Yeah, there's like them random tom
Yeah, yeah.
And then that chorus is pretty good though. I will hear you and everything's classic. Sort of Dave. It's good contrast because it's like there's so much going on in the instrumentation and rhythm, but then the vocals just up front and very simple,
Yeah.
and you just sort of focus to listen on like the lyrics more than
Yeah.
everything in the background, but then that's just pumping through.
Yeah. Drum beat's sick.
Drums sick. What instrument's that? Sounds like a mandolin or something. Like a banjo.
Super loose with the drums hitting the cymbals.
Strings coming in.
Yeah. Want to listen
Sort of
to
like
the
a
Gang Youth song.
jungle dance beat.
Yeah.
There's 100% all that influence of his culture
Yeah.
being in the music now.
Definitely.
It's more about his past and where he's coming from, I guess. Especially lyrically, it's like listening to a story,
Yeah.
but not just his story, sort of everyone's
Yeah.
collective story of, I guess, coming of age and also acknowledging where you're from and stuff like that, which is very
Definitely.
cool, which you can hear musically here.
But it's cool. It's like, it's got that as well as like a big sort of synth presence with like, you can hear like just before all the sort of the drums, like samples and stuff over the top of like all the percussive sort of cymbal hits and shakers.
It's all
Yeah.
syncopated and,
Yeah.
like, it's got a dance feel to
Yeah.
it, but then his vocal just remains like single tracked.
Yeah. Telling that
Perfect
story.
little- It's just like listening to a story, really.
Yeah.
Which is sick. And then
I think that is a banjo. It could be mandolin. They're quite
Probably
similar.
a banjo, I'd say. But that chorus is epic.
Yeah.
That'll stick in your head for a while.
Really good opening track.
We'll see you in everything. It's epic.
Yeah.
It's really good. I'm impressed.
Yeah. Wow. The production's great.
Yeah.
I think they did it all themselves, right?
I think they had like an engineer and stuff, but I'm pretty sure they had their own studio in London that they were doing it all in.
Yeah.
But that's insane. You can tell there's just a lot going on as far as the instrumentation of rhythm.
Yeah.
It's like all about rhythm, that song, and
Yeah.
then Dave's vocal melody is the only other thing that's almost not doing.
Yeah.
It's the only other thing that's not being part of the rhythm.
Yeah.
Because
totally.
even the banjo and stuff's doing that 16th, like.
It's like a musical audio book. In a way.
That's sort of back to that classic Gang of Youths sound, I
Yeah.
reckon. That drum beat.
That droning note over the top. The
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you think? Nah, it's 16.
That thing. Super far.
Really nice, sparkly acoustic. Sort of sitting real nice in there.
There's definitely like a focus on death in this album and
Yeah.
understanding it.
Like the dynamics of his voice. Sort of like really coming in with that grit. Also then going back to that sort of like real low monotone vocal to like that high sort of falsetto.
He's got that little falsetto part, which is epic, yeah.
It really sort of brings you, like drags you in and then, oh, it's light again.
The drummer's relentless.
Yeah. He's fully relentless.
Insane. He's the king of the hi-hat.
Yeah.
Swinging.
This bit live.
Feels pretty.
Oh, Yeah. And there's those big gang vocals.
Yeah. His voice has that such a distinct sound, but also melodically sort of ties in with a lot of their other stuff. It's got like that same. He uses like very similar phrasing. A lot of songs, so you always feel at home.
Yeah.
I like this little sort of
vocals.
synthesized vocal part at the start and end of the song.
Yeah.
It's like a sampled vocal in stereo, left and right, pumping through. That's sick. That song feels like the melding of their previous work and this new sound.
Yeah.
Which is very cool because it sort of
Debbie has that production of like the new sound.
Yeah, it's got the production and the sort of the atmosphere of this new album and the lyrical content as well, with the same sort of upbeat drum vibe of the 16s going.
Yeah.
And then all the extra sort of like fills and stuff in. And then it's also, I don't know, it gives me also like a super 80s vibe for some reason.
Yeah, it's that.
It's probably just that drum beat,
Yeah.
Lyrically, it's very cool as well. I like the opening, 4 lines in there. The snare's fat. And that ghosty sound, super Gang of Youth stuff. Yeah.
That acoustic.
Ba-dum,
was
iconic.
Yeah,
almost.
fully.
You can imagine it being just
they got
a stadium.
They've got like a really nice like acoustic sound on this album.
I really like that because it's the London thing.
Yeah.
The strange town in this strange hemisphere because it's their move into London.
Fully.
It's bound in their life experiences, which is
Yeah.
awesome to see, I'd say. Festival years. That da-na-na-na.
Yeah. It's crazy. It feels like it's really building, like the song's like really building up, but it's still remaining on that hi-hat.
And he's just about to go up. That's why it's building. It's like he's staying low. But he's got that. Here it is. Just builds up and up and up and both are.
Yeah. I love that bit of distortion in his vocal.
Yeah, it's really falling apart at the end of that.
Yeah.
Cool little bit of guitar at the end.
Yeah.
Keep it natural. No, that's like a quintessential Gang of Youth song. Might be for the next, 40 years.
Yeah.
That'll be the...
They didn't do anything for like a long time. And then for them to like release that song, you could tell that like this album's just going to be like huge and everyone in Australia's going to get around it.
Well, this song is like everything you want from a Gang of Youth song.
Yeah.
I'd say. It's got that drum beat, that high tempo drum beat. It's got all them sort of strange sort of violin-y sort of plucking like little violin sounds at start, that like real staccato violin.
Yeah.
And then it's got like a classic electric guitar lines that's sort of otherworldly with that sort of atmospheric noise that they were really known for, which was like fast and real tight drum beat and then atmospheric guitars hanging in the background. So then Dave's vocal sticks like right in the middle and you can just listen to that as closely as you can. And then the chorus is pretty epic.
Yeah.
It's still like the strange new town, this in the like strange hemisphere thing. You can tell where they're coming from.
Yeah.
In their actual experiences. And then I think there's a lot to do with his dad dying in there. This song.
Of course. Especially that, like big outro being like literally just like chanting.
There's
like
heaven in you now. Yeah, there's heaven. And then he
So
holds it and it goes
fully.
up and then starts to fall apart and there's heaven in you. And he goes
Just imagine them playing like a big show and everyone just screaming that.
I think that's the one.
Straight back to it.
And I feel like I'd freak out with the acoustic.
Yeah, fully.
It just does that thing.
Yeah.
But that's like perfect for it. I love it. I really like the first line that had the life in the limelight. Now he's got the chance to get quiet and see himself out. It's pretty nihilistic, but I love it. It's very cool.
Is that floor time?
Yeah.
But real short.
And there's the claps and everything. It's just the same thing I was saying with the other songs, just attention to rhythm.
Yeah.
Violin going. This is a bit different melodically. Like
big gang vocal sort of presence.
That's epic.
Yeah.
They're pretty complex.
Yeah.
I'm only in it for the cash, man. So much going on, eh?
Like, they're only in it for the money. It's like, sort of like real drunken sort of vocal sort of vibe on that.
Is this sort of big sort of fuck you attitude.
Yeah, it's sort of like taking the piss out of something, but I'm just
I'm
not sure what it's about.
Maybe
It might not be though.
there was something about like the music industry in there, and this whole sort of.
I like it. It's sort of like got that big sort of like, it's got that attitude in that.
Well, we haven't heard that attitude in the last ones. They're more heartfelt and and this one's a bit fun, you know.
It's a bit brighter and sort of.
The gang vocal thing will stick around. Like, I'm only in it for the money. We are now listening to the song Unison.
Sort of like a pad, like flute.
There's also that synth, like. It's quite beautiful, this section. Yeah, I really like this song. Just like the album needed this little break in tempo. Perfectly
delicate.
Here, I'd say. Because it just holds. It's still that syncopated, like.
Yeah.
He's so good at singing the lower octave and then holding the top one perfectly.
Yeah.
Like completely like the song in unison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
fully.
like.
It's pretty ironic, yeah.
It sounds like super spiritual and almost like a religious song. That's a nice lyric. I'd reach, yeah.
There's that
It's
acoustic
about
back.
sick. Full little breakdown of
Bit of horn.
all this sort of tribal drum sound. That
Yeah. Much looser sort of snare sound here.
Is that sax? Oh, wait.
Yeah, sax.
That's sick. It's got that little jazzy, little flat note. Completely crushed out snare sound into that. The bass is just moving along. Then you got a classic Gangu. So
I really like that bass line. So many little counter melodies going on everywhere. Especially in these headphones, they're all just popping everywhere, and that bass is just like.
Bass holds it all together there.
Yeah.
It's just grooving, and it gives space.
But it cuts out,
Horn section. I feel like I'm in the Pacific. It's like a it's got a happy
It's
but
super nice.
it's melancholy.
Yeah.
It's like the lyrics are very spiritual and sad, and it sounds like super about like and it takes. It sounds like something you could read in like a Bible or something. Like I don't read the Bible, but it sounds like it's very, very much about, you know, even just the earth, maybe.
Yeah.
Or some sort of higher power in this case, but maybe even the earth.
So like this new album's like, it's definitely a lot more like Cynthia and like so many like rhythms and like got like choir vocals going over the top.
The choir is really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fully, and they're all doing like playing their own part, but like in
unison.
playing completely in unison, but completely not in a way. Yeah.
It works perfectly.
Yeah. Wow.
Equal and opposite. It's like some things have their very specific spot in the song to sort of stay still and move slightly around, which is usually his vocal and the bass is doing that. And then there's just so much stuff going on with choirs and little intricate drum fills and samples, and like the violins are just going insane. There's that sax.
Yeah.
It's really masterful.
That's the first sax we've heard so far in these songs. We're now listening to Tend the Garden.
We need to tend that garden, man. It's out of control.
Oh, wow.
Super 70s, 80s. There's that singing in the church line. You can see his whole entire upbringing. He's his dad, lyrically.
Yeah.
So he's saying it's singing in the church, so it must be his dad meeting this lady. Pretty sure he's just telling his parents' story. But you can hear the vocal actually change as far as the filtering goes, and like now it's a bit distorted.
Yeah. The vocals aren't like as clear and in your face as like the other songs. I feel like I can hear like some sort of like phaser type vibe, or like chorus on the vocals.
Yeah, there's like a delay and like a distorted sort of. And I think this little break section here, super, yeah, it's got like a little phasey distortion on there. And then there's a stereo octave happening here. This is definitely like storytelling of his parents meeting each other and having their family. And
it's definitely got that happy, uplifting vibe. Super, yeah, real poppy. Like
it's got like it's a super 70s sounding like drum sound, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's dry, but it holds. It's got like a full 70s R&B soul vibe.
Yeah, it's that soul.
Like the back. Boom, 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 boom. It's like Motown-y soul sort of sounds. Now we got a bit more sax on it.
So real percussive with those bongos.
Yeah. It's coming back, man. And there's a big resurgence in bongos.
Yeah.
In music now. I swear it's like a thing, like it sounds like sort of like Rolling Stones Sympathy for the Devil type. Like, like real tight beats that all hold together with like extra percussion just pumping away. But this song sounds like it's got a super 70s soul R&B vibe. That little voice memo section, and then I don't know what he's saying there. I would have to listen back. But it's definitely...
Someone's talking about his father.
Yeah, I think it's... It sounds like it's a funeral. But like then the music's sort of happy. But then it goes that little piano part.
Yeah.
But then just because like you'd hear a baby cry if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a random baby.
Yeah.
But this random baby. But then there's that bell ding like the end of OK Computer.
Yeah. Well, you just like ding out of it.
Yeah, and then back into the drums. They've thought very, very hard and intensely about the rhythms of this album. It's got a very Radiohead feel as far as that goes.
I was getting a lot of like in that song, especially with like all the synths. It sort of sounds like lots of like Mellotron-y sort of flutes going around, especially with that drums like the Rainbow Valley record by Matt Colby.
And the snare as
the same sort of drum feel with like all that rolling snare, and all just sort of sitting on that hi-hat with lots of like sort of flare work. And
it does sound like Rainbow Valley.
Yeah, that one did for sure.
The snare's got that sort of, it sounds like a real papery, like real dry and dragging along, but yeah, you can tell that it's a big focus on rhythm in this album, which is a lot to do with probably a cultural thing, I'd say, for what he's trying to portray is the whole his upbringing, but mainly not him, but his dad's upbringing here, and that's a massive focus on choir and rhythm. Yeah, which is what this album is doing perfectly so far. So yeah,
I really like that track.
Yeah,
that was nice. We're now listening to the song "The Kingdom Is Within You."
It's like a little reverse. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a full-on dance beat, man. Yeah, boots.
Can I hear like a real quiet cowbell in there?
I think there's so much going on rhythmically again that it's going to be hard. Yeah.
I love that pad, airy sort of pad.
Yeah, just coming in.
Yeah.
They have that a lot in this album. It's like, it just breaks into pad and voice. Yeah. It's a cool little high note. I think he takes on the first person responsibility lyrically of his dad in parts and then switches back to himself. I feel like this song's a lot about society and capitalism and probably his dad's upbringing here in Australia. Because I can hear the sort of work until the dead is gone, and the only thing we can really afford is like cigarettes and
the hat's still going.
It's got it's a full dance.
Is that a drum machine though? Is that a drum machine hi-hat going here?
There's a couple drum machine parts in here for sure. Little 808 claps, and well, they probably recorded them claps. Whoa. I'm here until I don't belong. I work until the dad is gone. It's a good lyric.
I like that line. Outside of it. And that chord.
It's got a very uplifting background.
Yeah. Sort of a real dramatic sort of arrangement with the strings here.
There's so much in each song that it's hard to unpack. It's like complete production madness going on here. It's just like every time you would listen to this song again or any of the songs, you're going to hear 10 different things happen.
Yeah. And they're all sort of really diverse and like different things going on.
Yeah.
But also keeping that same concept of having like all those real like percussive sort of dramatic back to that real feel good sort of emotional sort of change.
Yeah.
But each song is just like its own sort of piece, you know?
Yeah. It's super cohesive.
Yeah.
Like each song works together as part of the one album, which is lost a lot now because these days people don't have the budget usually to pull together an album with cohesion because it's, you know, recording one day here, this song from 5 years ago. But it feels like this album, they've had the time to sit down in the same place together and actually work on something fitting perfectly together, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's like they've had this idea of let's do this thing and have it all about their heritage, especially like Dave's heritage, and then everyone's just master musicians on this. Like the drumming and the bass and everything about it is just like moves along so quickly and like very, very tight. But like that song sort of started off very spiritual. I feel like there was that whole spiritual aspect of the lyrics, and then it definitely became about working class Australian life in the 90s, I reckon. There was a lot about that sort of thing in there, I'd say. And then they just have that chant on the outro, the upside of it, the upside of it.
Yeah.
Spirit Boy. We're now listening to Spirit Boy. I like that title already.
Spirit Boy.
Spirit Boy. Oh, how's that? Super compressed and lo-fi.
Yeah. Like the low tune acoustic.
This is sick. This might be one of my favorites already, just personally. The acoustics. It's like, is it in like a drop tuning or something?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The pan acoustics.
Yeah.
This one doing a different sort of strumming pattern over here and there.
This is interesting because this one doesn't have as much going on rhythmically. Like it's more straightforward. Still that swing on the hats, you know, 16th-y. I can't wait to slowly disappear. It's got that dragging sort of burning vibe to it. The rhythm sounds like what he's trying to say. It's like someone dying and sort of fading away but holding on.
Is that 80s? Yeah.
Phil Collins, a spec. Coming in. The snare's got lots of room.
Yeah.
Lots of room sounds. But also it's very different. The start of this song is very different.
Yeah. Dave's really like emphasizing that real light falsetto vocals in these new songs. But it's like so light but strong. It's like he's not shy. Acoustics playing a nice percussive part here.
The song's a huge journey, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. It goes through many sections. It keeps sort of evolving and evolving. And I think that song's intro, the first like minute or so, was my favorite off the album.
Yeah.
That little piece there. The sort of drop tuned acoustics. And that beat was like a little lo-fi.
Yeah.
It's almost like hip-hoppy.
That minor chord just like coming in right before it like resolves. The vocal line is sick.
And the God Died Today part. Sick lyric. Now we are listening to Brothers. Sounds like a real piano. You can hear the keys in the
Yeah.
1948.
Definitely a massive story. I don't want to talk over it because I just want to listen. Hey. Really like this song. It's like it's that song that's just piano and vocals, but it's also it's a change from I was hearing like a lot of the like grand piano and all the other songs. This is that real stripped back, sort of muffled, upright.
Yeah.
Really makes it more like a lot more intimate, I guess.
It needed that break.
Yeah,
For sure.
and like you can hear the creaks of that piano. You're saying, like the sustain pedal creaking, like.
Yeah, you can hear the
Yeah.
keys in the sustain pedal, and you had to hear that because it would make the song less honest.
Yeah,
If
it's
you
like
couldn't hear the piano actually squeaking,
Yeah,
and that then it would take away from the entire vocal. Really,
it feels like you're like sitting next to him right now,
yeah, just having
in
to
the same
listen.
room.
He's just got this entire story weaved together quite poetically about his dad and his life. And apparently he's got siblings that he never knew, and they didn't know about him, and and his dad said that his mum was half German, and he was born in New Zealand or something instead, just to try and get a better go here in Australia, which is very rough, but it's the way it is for a lot of people, which is bad.
Sort of got like a lullaby sort of vibe here in my head, but it definitely feels like a good night song.
Oh, a little jazzy, bluesy intro. That one is an insane story.
Yeah,
It's
that
like-
was like
It's hard. It was hard to talk over the top at all. You
Yeah.
had to sort of just sit there and listen to it. But it's definitely seems like it's him trying to understand the things that his dad did. Where growing up, he thought his dad was just lying to them and trying to figure out who his dad actually was after he's died, which is very rough but sincere. And I feel like if that sincerity comes through in the vocal and the story perfectly and the squeaky piano, you can hear it's real.
amazing. Hey, I've
Yeah.
just changed my mood. Going
Completely.
from the real dancey sort of vibes that we've been listening to like to that. It's just like wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit in silence for a while.
Yeah. You just sit there and cry. We're now
Forbearance.
listening to Forbearance.
Forbearance.
Forbearance. Now we back up.
I like that real loose violin. It's not like
There's a beat. So busy, but then the world is not done with me yet. This one's definitely about him being matured now, and who he was and who he is now, and what he doesn't like about his past, and also there's a little bit of the attention they've got over the last couple years.
Yeah.
Is like
There's like counter vocals back again. The things that have stuck out to me the most about like these songs, it's like especially just like the complexity of the drums, but also just like how well like the bass is like playing a part with
it's very
those drums.
subby bass too. It's
Yeah, real subby, but
like very
like
low.
really broken apart,
It's
but
holding it
not
down,
not
though.
really driven or anything. It's just like
No, the
ooh.
bass isn't going.
Yeah,
it's
just
not
playing
going with
little
the
off
drums.
notes.
Yeah.
Like
It's doing a more melodic
Yeah.
phrase thing,
yeah,
like a vocal would, rather than the drum and bass being,
Yeah.
completely tied together.
Yeah. just letting
It's
that
good because
synth-
it gives the whole mix like the air to breathe with the drums.
Yeah, sure.
It's insane, the different textures and sounds, and everything's like perfectly rhythmically tight.
Mm.
That one was good. That was good. That was definitely about his less about his dad, more about him, and the world's not done with me yet, and what he's done in the past, but almost in a way, because the whole album is thematically about his dad, maybe saying like sorry for the things he's done in regard to that, I'd say.
Yeah, I guess it's a good track lyrically to come after that soft piano sort of storytelling vibe, about real in-depth like detail.
It matches it. It matches it. It picks the vibe back up. It matches it lyrically.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Sort of backs up from that, whereas the story takes itself from going over everything to being like, this is how I am now. We're now listening to the man himself. Look at that real pizzicato plucked at the start.
Again, it feels like they've got just all these insane loops. So they've just gone piled over and over.
It's played on the hi-hat, but I hear that little bell.
No, yeah. So it's like a ride, no?
Because you can hear the hi-hats.
They've got like a ride going, and then there's just the hi-hat going. You can tell he's got that note.
Yeah.
It's like a big
signature
Dave Lee Peppy high. It's like his high note.
Yeah.
When my kid's getting high at a hot wired Santa Fe. Reminiscing, man. I like how it doesn't sound like it's pitch corrected at all, or auto-tuned. When he goes, when he belts that note, it like wavers and it doesn't hold perfectly, like what you hear from most music, especially on the radio today. Like that's just like him. It's so super raw, and I feel like that's very on purpose. Like you have to portray that sort of, authenticity here if he wants the meaning to come across the way he intends it. And that's got to do with everything with the production as well.
I like the idea of the fade out, sort of the drums whilst like vocals still yelling.
Yeah.
Like,
it's cool.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Definitely, that one's got the big epic chorus. The classic Gang of Youths, Dave Lee Peppy, the
big scream,
and the high one.
Yeah,
that sort of vibe, which is pretty awesome. Very sincere. All these songs, they very much fit together.
Yeah, so they've made an album with this album. Like, they haven't made
not a bunch of different ideas. No. It's one.
Yeah, it's conceptually, but rhythmically, lyrically, just like the sound of each song. It's like, I don't know. Like, this is the best songs to me. I don't know. I don't know. This they're all.
It's hard to say.
Really hard to say.
Because we're getting older at the same time that they are.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's different because their stuff they were playing a couple of years ago. Like, I remember seeing Gang of Youths at like Yours and Ours in like 2015 and being like on the front rail.
Yeah.
And Dave came down, was like singing over the top. It was like back when he had like singlets and long hair and like I didn't know who they were before that, and I thought it was going to be. That's the
first time I saw them as well.
I thought it was going to be a metal band. I'm not even kidding. I was like, Gang of Youths, like this is like a full on, like they're going to be like hard rock, heavy metal band, because he was wearing like a Slayer singlet.
Yeah.
And
when he sings, he sings to you. He'll literally like make eye contact with you and just be like, and you'll be like, oh.
It's very religious experience.
Yeah,
man.
We'll just be like,
when
you're in it.
I went to their Go Farther and Lightness release party at Red Eye Records when they played a couple songs and everyone got a poster and signed poster and stuff like that. And it was very intense. Whenever he was speaking to anyone, it was very like locked in eye contact, very motivational. It's church for nihilists, man. For sure. We're now listening to Hand of God. Very like short reverb on his voice. So it sounds like a double. You can hear it comes in a little bit later. Dun, dun. Can you hear it? I really like that sound. You know that little effect on the older?
Yeah.
It's like a vocoder or something. Da, da.
Whoa.
How they do? What chord
Wasn't
was that?
noticed, but yeah, that was sick.
It was like a little.
Wow.
That was nice.
Yeah, another one of those.
Piano track.
Yeah, the upright. Same vibe as the other one, but a bit more.
It's super. Yeah, that was like a full on church song, man.
Yeah.
It was like hallelujah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the piano gets a lot more straight. It's like do 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 do. I really like piano chords that have like that same sort of droning note throughout each chord. For instance, in that one, I was like do 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 do. Whilst like all these other little arrangement of chords that are sort of just like moving around
sit
it.
underneath.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
That little change there, piano at the end was awesome.
Yeah.
That little half step,
like a
that little
Sort of
jazzy.
diminished chord. So I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it's very
It's a
interesting.
bit of ear candy.
Just to keep you.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really was like, oh, what was that? We've reached the last song on the album. It's called Goal of the Century. It's been a wild ride. Very beautiful.
Yeah. It's been very calming and beautiful.
Calming and uplifting
Yeah.
all at the same time.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, let's hear it.
It's got that same piano from the last
Yeah,
track.
from the last one. Yeah, same sort of sound.
That's what I was talking about. That.
And that the bass note. Yeah. The violin section here is very nice. Oh,
There's that chord.
Is that weird minor chord that comes in? Yeah. Sounds like a sort of Lydian, or like the start of a movie.
Yeah.
It's got Spider-Man 1 and 2 vibes. Stereo choir.
Right.
This thing's just building. Dun, 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 dun. That drum machine sounds sick. Super syncopated. All on offbeat.
So they wanted to make it a real big arrangement for this last song.
Little arpeggio synth. Little click.
There's that sax again. No left ear. Just like
Yeah. Super stereo. man.
yeah. Feels to me like this song's like a big celebration.
Yeah.
I like-
celebration track.
Even the closing track of the album has that real
Yeah. Well, we
like-
could have done it two ways, right?
yeah.
Could have been a sad close or celebration, which I'm sure for this
Yeah.
for his relationship with his father, he's gone celebration style for the ending. Which the whole album has that vibe, really.
Yeah.
It all feels celebratory. Even the quieter piano tracks. I really like the reverb they use on this album, his voice. It's like just it's almost like a delay, but it's like a
Yeah.
real stereo room, so you can sing one vocal track. Oh, it's a nice little minor. Ricardo is racing. I saw Daniel Ricciardo was doing drums on the album.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Ricardo is racing.
This is that song. Posted on Instagram, that last vocal line
Yeah.
for the album. Not sure if it was this song, but that's what I've been feeling with most of these songs, especially with like the piano sort of stuff.
Oh man.
Man, it's like post that thing super early in the morning.
Yeah.
Like
That's
and you
right.
Sung
Well,
that
isn't
last
this,
track.
I think I've heard this line.
that. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful ending.
Wow. Like like I was saying that.
Finishing with that name of the album.
And you could,
cool.
for sure. And like you could tell, like,
This thing's thought out, man.
yeah, it's so thought out. And even with that video that he posted, like saying that he finished the last line at like, I think it was like 6 a.m. He said.
Well, he says it in the lyric there.
Yeah.
6 a.m.
Yeah.
London is storming. Like, I think he was ad-libbing that. Just then.
For sure. And literally, like, it was like super quiet, super. You can't hear any vocals. Just
vibe.
like being in the room. And then he stopped and just like had this like
that's it.
time of silence to himself, and it was like it really like shows in like the sort of the emotional like sort of aspect of this whole album. It's just like it really meant the world to him to just literally have it finished and done, all
well
written
done.
down. Yeah, well
Beautiful.
done to Gang of Youths.
Yeah, amazing work.
When you get the chance to listen to this, put some headphones on and lie down in the dark.
Yeah, I feel
at
like
6 a.m.
It's definitely a back-to-back. Yeah, it probably would be good at 6 a.m. if you stayed up all night.
Yeah,
It'd be perfect. But it's got like that. It's like one big story, really.
Yeah,
and that's why it's.
I feel like I've learned a lot about Dave and his like storytelling.
Yeah, the storytelling. We've learned a lot
on
about him and his family, and also how to just use different elements of music really to create that entire vibe of the drums. The drums are a massive part of this album, I feel.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very complex. Yeah.
Amazing. Well done.